Hey guys, what's going on, man? Welcome back to another Warframe video. This time I'm going to be covering Atlas's augment, Path of Statues. Now this is a landslide augment that leaves a trail that petrifies the enemies for 6 seconds. So when you're punching enemies in the face, it leaves a trail that not only petrifies them, but at the same time it protects you when you think about it. Because you know them enemies that like to sneak up behind you, trying to get one of them cheap hits on you. Well, if they're in that path that you did a landslide and punched the enemy in the face, and if you look behind you at times, you would wonder, oh, you trying to come up right behind me trying to land a cheap shot. Well, they'll get turned to stone. And at the same time too, that trail, for what I've been seeing, you could increase the range of it by just putting like a stretch mod on, and you could increase the duration, I believe. So that's why I have continuity on this build that I have right here for Atlas. I'm going to show the build that I'm rocking anyway, as you already know. But as far as with this augment, it is really nice for Atlas. Everyone likes to use landslide. Landslide is like my best move as far as with Atlas, and at the same time the combo chaining, and it scales with the melee mods that you put on your melee, which is really nice. So as long as you're punching enemies, you're like invulnerable to damage as long as you keep punching them. So it is really good. And at the same time, this mod, Path of Statues, whichever enemy likes to come up behind you, they'll get turned to stone immediately. It's not like Petrify where you see it takes time before they turn to stone. This one, if they're in the path, if they're right on it, they will get petrified and they will get turned to stone instantly, like just like that. So it is really nice. And while they're in that state, all you gotta do is punch them and they just break into pieces, a whole bunch of stones flying all over the place. So it is really, really good when you run this mod. Now, as far as with my setup, I got steel charge, power drift to add that little bit of damage. I put a intensify on, I have streamline, I got stretch on, like I said, just for this, so that once I punch them, it leaves that nice little trail there. You can have that for the range. I also have steel fiber on, just because, you know, Atlas scales with the armor. He's really tanky. And at the same time, I have vitality on, prime continuity and prime flow on, and also I have the augment Path of Statues. So this is a really nice all-around build. And at the same time, I'm rocking the arcane on him, just so that Atlas has a little bit more tankiness on his side. So it is a really nice all-around build. As far as my Atlas, he is really awesome to use as far as with this augment on him, just because with me using landslide most of the time, my backside is protected, because if anybody's trying to come behind me, you know what, you're gonna get turned to stone, and I will know, because I will turn my back to see who has been behind me. So this mod is really good for him. And at the same time, if you guys want to pick it up, you gotta go to Steel Meridian, or you could go to Red Veil, but you have to spend like 25,000 standing in order to purchase it, which is not bad. So I mean, you could just go and pick that up. It's no big deal. But on top of that, is this mod worth picking up for Atlas? Yes, it is, because not only are you landsliding, but at the same time, if enemies are behind you, you petrify them at the same time. Using this in a defense mission is also good too, especially if enemies are crowding around the pod just because they want to damage it. But at the same time, if they come near the pod, there's a price to pay. They're going to be turned to stone, which is really nice. So you have an additional mode of defense when it comes to protecting the pod. You can have frost there, you can have all kinds of stuff there, but at the same time, Atlas, you could bring him along and at the same time use this as means of defense, because if they come near the pod, they'll get turned to stone. They ain't gonna do nothing. So this mod is really good on Atlas. So I advise you to pick it up, put it on them, and start punching people in the face. And as soon as you turn around, you see a dude in stone, take him out.